hear or anything that comes to mind is like a brain massage. So that's what ASMR is, like the crunching of leaves, like popping bubble wrap. That's what ASMR is. Anything that soothes your brain. And then we have the mukbang, which is Asian inspired, like buffet. You just eat food like this, and then you just stream and you do it. It's like just a buffet style eating thing. And so we're gonna be doing this every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure y'all come check me out. Make sure y'all are following all of my social media links. Click up there to Seeker's Kitchen. You can follow my Instagram, my Twitter. I don't know how long Twitter gonna be on at this point. Just everything you can follow, all of it, okay? And my Facebook, I think it's a right? So today what we're gonna have is, I'm gonna bring it up to the camera for y'all. I got some onion rings. I made me a New York strip steak with some onions on it. I don't like my steak on it. And I found this Flamin' Hot Cheetos mac and cheese. Of course I doctored it up a little bit because I was like, I can't just eat this as is. So I added some more cheese, a little garlic powder, onion powder, a little heavy whipping cream. Y'all know how we do. I just couldn't just leave it as is. All right, y'all, so let's get started. Today we're doing, it's a show on Netflix called Worst Roommate Ever. We are going to do the Marathon Men episode, which is a true crime story based on a young lady by the name of Callie Quinn. So the story is kind of solely focused on her, but we get to a lot of people, y'all. Like, the story is going to be insane. So Callie is from Austin, Texas. She's from a little small town called Canyon Lake Road. And she is not one day in high school. So she has a high school trip and they go to the Galapagos Islands, right? And she is just so enamored with the Galapagos Islands on the field trip that she just decides, one day, like, I want to travel. Like, I want to travel too. I want to see the world. I want to do this more often. That's what Callie kind of has in mind. So she goes to school and, oh my gosh, this food are you already? She goes to college and she graduates from the University of Texas in March 2011, and she gets a job teaching English abroad in Santiago, Chile. And so she's really excited because this is super, super fun for her. The name of the place is the Bridge Linguatech Institute. I guess my thing is kind of like, she kind of moves to Chile and she doesn't speak any Spanish, but whatever. She goes to Chile because she feels like Chile has lots of work opportunities. When she Googled it, it was considered to be safe. There was no issue, no problem, there's not a lot of kidnappings, and the murder rate is extremely low in Chile. So she's like, you know what, this is kind of like, cool or whatever. Like, I want to go here. So when she gets the job, she finds a place by herself, but she just runs into a young lady, and she just kind of like, the young lady's like, hey, I know this place where they have lodging, and it's probably a little bit better for you. It's probably more long-term, and you're not living by yourself. It'll be cheaper, and you'll be living around a bunch of people. So she's like, you know what? Okay, that sounds like a great idea. She moves into this place in April 14th of 2011, about a month into her being into Chile. So she's in there with a Danish guy, a German guy, a Mexican guy. And I mean, it's co-ed. It's men and women of all races. And she thinks this is amazing. She's like, y'all, this is dope as hell. Like, I'm in this place with all these people from all around the globe. Like, this is going to be good for me. So the Danish man is a gentleman by the name of Yusuf Cater. I don't know how to say it, but we really don't care about the spelling of his name because he's complete garbage. So with that being said, he comes off as friendly, generous. When she gets there, He's the first person, like he helps her with her bags. He's like, hey, you guys, we got a new roommate. Let's have a barbecue on me. Yosef goes out and buys food, charcoal, all the fixings for a barbecue, and throws Callie a welcome home. I'm welcome home, basically like a welcome home or welcome to the new house party. And so she's thinking this is great. Callie is so into this. She's like, oh my gosh, you know what? But I ain't gonna lie. This is the part of the story that makes you like, She's like, you know what? He was really old. He was like 32, and I was 23. I'm like, girl, 32 is not old. Like, don't you say that to me. But I'm gonna let her slide with that comment because she had a real time with that man. Like Yusuf, he turned out to be a jerk. So Yusuf claims to have moved from Denmark, from Palestine, because he's there for the Atacama race. Now, I have to read this to y'all because I was like, what is an Atacama race? This is 155 miles. You heard me absolutely right. This race is 155 miles. There's no way I'm doing that race, okay? 155 miles. It's 6 stages, 7 days, 4 marathon days, a 74-kilometer run, a rest day, and then there's another kilometer run. I'm not doing all that. So that's why he's there, that he claims that he's training for, and she's like, all right, well, yeah, that's cool. So he's just into extreme running, I guess. So now another young lady by the name of Molly moves in, and her and Callie become best friends. They're both from Texas, which is great, right? Well, Molly and what's his name? I'm so sorry, Callie. Don't mean to do that. Molly and Callie become best friends, and they just start picking up on Yusef's bullshit. That's the nicest way I can say it. On his BS off the rip, okay? He's like, I'm in the Danish Special Forces. You guys, how many? I think every episode I've done, people, if they are in the Special Forces, the CIA, Black Ops, they're undercover, they're not going to tell you. We go through this every week, I think. I'm pretty sure we go through this every week. It's always the same thing. But you know what? Sorry, y'all. Minor hiccup. We're going to get this audio together real quick. I did not change them. Okay. My bad. Is that my bad? Yeah. It's hard. My bad. I was just talking. All right. Back to regularly scheduled program. All right. So now they're just picking up on his stuff, and they're just like, this guy is a mess. I think he's lying. And they basically tell him, I think you're a liar. I really don't believe anything you're saying. It sounds like a bunch of hullabaloo. And Yusuf is getting kind of upset. He's like, what? Like, he's like, they actually don't believe me. And they're like, no, you're full of it at this point. So he kind of makes it a point that he was in special forces and for the Danish special forces, and he always attacks. No, he never attacks. He always protects and defends. He just basically hyped himself up a lot, and nobody really liked that about him. So it started getting awkward between Callie and Yusef, but Callie is honestly not paying this man any attention. You really don't know what's going on in a person's brain. I'm pretty sure that Callie was like in her own world or whatever, not thinking anything of Yusef or whatever the case may be. So now we're going to jump back a little bit to Maher. Maher meets Yusef in 2010. He is the coordinator for the Palestinian Network Office of Denmark. So he gets a call from Yusef one day, and Yusef's like, hey, I'm going to run in this race called the Jungle Marathon. I'm Palestinian too. I want to run across that finish line wearing my flag. And then Maher's like, okay, so what do you need from me? He said, I need you to raise me some money. And he's like, okay, of course, I can do that. How much money do you need? He's like 40,000 Danish kronos. That is like $6,000 to $7,000 in American money that he needs this man to raise for him. So the guy creates a contribution website for Yusef, and it's like, all right, cool, we got it. I can do that for you. Well, they don't really raise enough money. He probably only raised like 1,000 US dollars. And Yusuf is infuriated. He's like, what do you mean that's all you raise? Like, you Palestinians are stupid. And just going off on the man. The man is like, look, calm down. Don't yell. If you don't want the money, that's cool. And Yusuf's like, no, 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 no. You know what? I'm upset. It's me. I'm the problem. I'm so sorry that this happened to you. You know, like, I'm sorry I'm coming up like that. Whatever money you have, send it to me. I'll work with it. So now Yusuf does his first marathon run, which is the jungle run. And the first day, Maher checks the stats, and Yusuf is in first place. So he's like ecstatic. Woo, go Palestine. Like, yeah, like we're in there, you know? So everything is going pretty good, and he's really not thinking too much of it. So the second day, he checks the stats, and Yusuf is disqualified. And he's like, Yusuf, what? Why are you disqualified? Yusuf goes, oh, I'm hurt my leg, and the American doctors don't want me to race anymore, and they're being racist. They don't want me to win because you know I'm Palestinian. Yesterday I was first place, so they saw that and they're trying to sabotage me. They really don't want me to win. So he's like, you know what? You right, Yusuf. You right. He's literally telling Yusuf, like, I kind of see that. Like, I could see, like, yeah, they're trying to perpetrate him or whatever. So another race is coming up. This is how he ends up in Chile, because now we have the Atacama race that I just described to you guys. So he's like, you know what, Maher, don't worry about it. I'm going to Chile, and I'm going to do this race, okay? And it's going to be great. You're going to love it. Like, I'm going to win, and I want you to come. And while I run across that finish line with the Palestinian flag. And he's like, all right, cool. That sounds like a pretty good idea. So he introduces Yusuf to a man named Carlos, who lives in Chile. That's part of the Palestine network as well. And they raised more money for Yusuf, because now that people saw that he could get first place, and they think that the American doctors really sabotaged him, it kind of encourages the Palestinian network to donate a lot more money. They raised the money for the race. He raises so much money, he's able to keep it for his personal finances. They raised him about 10,000 American dollars. 10,000 American dollars. And Carlos is like, Yusuf is such a great person. Like, he's really into it. All right, so before we move on to the next part of that story, we're going to stop right there. If you just got here, thank you so much for tuning in to A Secret to Tell with yours truly. What's my name? Secrets Kitchen. I do this every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all make sure y'all check me out. I do ASMR. I do mukbang, and I tell a true crime story. And y'all just make sure y'all tune in, and y'all know how we do. Gotta take a bite. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I just kind of wanted to dip the thing, because I just wanted to try this with this. That's actually, hold up. This is actually, I even hate I'm doing this to my stomach though. Mm. Mm-hmm. That's actually good. Hmm. Of course, I'm gonna have a piece of this steak because I'm starving actually. Mm. Mm. Okay, I don't think I've ate this one before. I gotta get back to the show, but Mm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna finish this plate. Spit. Because I deserve it. I deserve it. Oh, that's good too. Oh wow. All right. So that was so good. Now, Callie, we're gonna go back to Callie. So remember he met Maher and all this stuff. And oh Lord, I think the comments cut off again. Wow. I'll edit this part out, y'all. Sorry. All right. So family stuff. You know. So Callie, now we're going back to July 2011. She like it's freezing cold, like it's very cold outside. There's no water. There's the windows don't close all the way. I'm sorry, there's no hot water. The windows won't close all the way. And everybody's just miserable. But in my mind, I'm like, how y'all got this place and didn't have any of those things? I'm just like, I guess a little confused as to what's going on. So Yusef is like, hey, Molly, Callie, it's you guys need a place to stay, no problem. I bought some condos. And they're like, Yusef, you bought condos here? Mind you, they already don't believe nothing this man says. He's like, yeah, like, I bought some condos. Do you guys want to move in? I'll take the money. My thing is this. If you have condos, why are you not staying in the condos? Why are you in here with us being miserable and being cold? That makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Yeah, the comments cut off. I can see it over here, y'all. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. So they're like, for some reason, they still go ahead and believe him, and they give him the money, or whatever the case may be. They give him the money, and they're trying to move in, but of course, there's always an excuse as to why. As to why they can't move in. So they're kind of just like, you know what? I want my money back. Like, they want their money back. And Yusuf also owes money to to other roommates. He's borrowing money from the people and not paying them back. So nobody really knows what's going on. So now everybody's fed up. Yusuf comes up with this great idea, y'all. Yusuf is so smart. It's like, he comes up with this great idea. And he's like, hey, you know what? Fine. If you guys don't believe me, Callie, come with me tomorrow. We're going to go to the real estate office. I'm going to show you where it's at so you and Molly know where to pick up your keys. We're going to go do that, and then we're going to go pick up the money that I owe the roommates from my girlfriend, and I'm just going to send you back with the backpack. And it's just like, Yusuf, what? But for some reason they believe him. They're like, you know what, fine. Like, Molly's like, I'll go with him. I'm not gonna make it like a thing. Like, I'll go. And so they're walking around for a really, really, really long time. And Callie's like, oh my gosh, where's this real estate office? Where's this office? So they stop at this real estate office that's, of course, closed by the time they get there. And so now she's just kind of like, okay, well, I'll just come in the morning and get the stuff. And he's like, fine, cool. Let's go to my girlfriend's house and get the book bag full of money. So I don't know who this girl is till this day, but he really had a girlfriend. They go to the lady's house, they pick up the money, and Yusuf's like, you know what? Do you want to go to dinner? I'm a little hungry. Let me take you out to dinner. I'm sorry for putting you through all of this trouble, Callie. Like, it's the least. It's the least I can do for you. And so Callie's like, you know what? He did show me the real estate office, and he actually does have a girlfriend. You know, I do have this bag full of money. You know, I think I'm starting to trust him a little bit. Like maybe I was too hard on him. People, I'm gonna say this: follow your guts, follow your instincts. Like I listen to this podcast and they have this slogan: "Be rude, stay alive." Sometimes being friendly is not what is up. That's all I'm gonna say. So they go out to dinner and they get drunk, and that's just that. Because before we even got there, let's go back to meet Dominic. He met Dominic in 2010 in October at the Jungle Marathon race last year. And they hit it off really, really well. And the Jungle Marathon race is in Brazil, and Dominic and Youssef start talking, and they're kind of like, hey, I want to invest. And the guy's like, I think I want to invest in some land in Brazil too. And then Youssef is like, oh, well, I have a great Brazilian real estate lawyer. So let me tell you what, I'm going to Chile to run the Atacama race. So come do the race with me, and then we can meet up there. And so Dominic's a little wary. He's never done the Atacama race. He's like, you know what? Cool. Let me fly back to London, and then I'll meet you in Chile. So he flies back to Chile, and then Dominic never gets to meet the lawyer, and he's kind of like, okay, you know what? I flew all the way back from London. I bought $50,000 with me. I don't know what the heck is wrong with Dominic, but he decides to himself, you know what? I don't want to take $50,000 with me all the way back to London. Yusuf, can you hold it for me? Can you hold it $50,000 with me? And then Yusuf is like, sure. I'll hold the $50,000 for you. It's going to be in safekeeping. Don't worry. When you come back for the actual Atacama race, we'll meet up with the lawyer then. He had a death in the family. He's just busy. So when he leaves, Dominic is like, hi. Dominic's like, yeah, cool. I made Yosef. We're going to come back. We're going to be partners, and we're going to invest in property together. So when Dominic comes back to do the Atacama race, he's like, Yosef, where's the money? Yosef's like, oh, money. Oh, don't worry about it. Like, I told you it's in safekeeping. Like, I told you it's all good. Don't worry. Like, let's enjoy Chile. Why you keep asking about the money, bro? Just chill. I got it. So now Dominic is like, he started to just feel like something was not right. Like, he just couldn't put his finger on it. He just knew something wasn't right. So now we're here at the Atacama race because Dominic's there anyway. Dominic hates the freaking ass race. Dominic is like, that race was terrible. I was looking for adventure, but not that kind of adventure. It was in the desert. There is dirt all in his mouth. Places I can't really say too much of. Like, he just quits. He quits the race. Dominic's like, I can't do this race, bro. I'll see you when you're finished. So mind you, the people that sponsored Dominic, Youssef, the Palestinian network people that he asked to come see him race this time, they finally reached Chile to get to the race, and Youssef goes, oh my gosh. Hey, you guys. He meets them at the hotel. It's like, I've been trying to reach you. I meant to tell you I got disqualified again. And they're like, you got disqualified at the Jungle Marathon in Brazil because you said the doctors are racist towards you. They don't like you, blah, 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 blah. And now you're getting disqualified. What's now? It's the same doctors. That's what he says. It's the same doctors. They just don't like me. I don't know what's going on. Like, he literally, like, that's how he's explaining it. He's like, these are the doctors. They don't like me. And I'm just sorry. But he's like, don't worry about it. You guys are here now. We're going to have a great time. Don't you fret, okay? Don't you sweat your pretty little head. So he's like, all right, you know what? Cool. We're going to go ahead and do that. So this is where Dominic meets Maher. And he's just kind of looking at Maher like, how do you know Youssef? Or whatever. So they go to dinner, right, together. And Youssef is basically paying for everything on the trip. They go sandboarding. They go see glaciers. They go in the wine country. They're doing all sorts of things. And Maher and Dominic, the people that, he's dealing with, are kind of looking at him like, I feel like this is a distraction because Dominic's like, this man owes me $50,000. And Maher is like, we just gave you $10,000 and you got disqualified a second time. So Yusef was keeping them so busy, nobody was really able to ask for the money. I don't know about y'all, but if you owe me that much money, I'm asking for it. If you owe me $50,000, I'm asking for that back. That's not 10, 20 bucks. Like, that's $50,000. So Dominic just starts feeling like, I'm not getting my money back. And I'm not about to waste my time with this. So you know what? I'm going back to London. I'll holler at y'all. Dominic heads out. So Maher emails Dominic. He finds him on Facebook and he's just kind of like, hey, how do you know Yusuf? And he's like, well, we were supposed to be business partners, but I gave him $50,000 and I never saw him again. And so he's like, what? Okay, that's crazy. So now Dominic is like, yeah. And so Maher informs his friends. He's just kind of like, really? So Dominic is like, yeah, I'm not coming back. I'm just going to count. He counted $50,000 as a loss. I don't know what Dominic does for a living, but he was like, he could have that $50,000. I'm not worried about it. So Yusuf starts doing research. I'm sorry, so many people. Maher starts doing research on Yusuf, who, when he pulls it up on Google, he's actually in Chile doing the race because he fled Denmark for fraud and arson. He did the same thing to other people. He ran a scam on some people, and he owed them money, and when the people want their money back, his apartment mysteriously burned down with all the money in it. Like, go freaking figure. Go figure. So after that happens, and they start kind of realize, like, dang, like, we really got bamboozled, no? Like, I think we got bamboozled a little bit. And so they kind of encourage Dominic to just come back and get his money. And at the time, Dominic's like, no. So while they're trying to convince Dominic, he calls Yusef's sister and is like, hey. He lies and says he's a journalist and he wants to talk about Yusuf. And his sister gets kind of quiet on the phone. But then she's like, okay, I'm lying. I'm not a journalist. Your brother owed me money. Like, what can you tell me? Like, what information can you give me? And she just starts crying. She's like, Yusuf has disgraced his family. We basically forbid him from coming around. Like, he's done this to everyone. He scams everyone. Like, it's just a really sad thing, honestly. And then Maher is just like, wow, like, this is crazy. And he tells his sister, yeah, because, you know, the Palestinian community. She's like, wait right there, Papa, slow down. Palestinian who? My brother is not Palestinian. We're Lebanese. We're from Lebanon. Who told you he was Palestinian? And he's like, I raised over $10,000 for this man. He's not even Palestinian. And that just kind of sours the relationship between Yusuf and Maher. He just can't deal with him anymore. So now we're back to Dominic. Maher goes back to Dominic. He's like, try to get your money back. Like, let us know what happens. And he's like, fine. I will try to come and get my money back. Well, he does that all right. And he gets there, and Yusuf's like, don't worry about it. I have a lawyer. I'm going to take you to his office. We're going to go see him, and I'm going to give you $50,000. Well, they are walking and walking and walking, and the Dominic is like, bro, so it's no lawyer office, is there? Like, there can't be a lawyer's office. Why? Like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? And Yusuf just kind of looks at him, because at this point, they've walked so far, they're like in the middle of nowhere. So he's like, give me your phone and let me talk to your lawyer, because Yusuf is pretending to talk to a lawyer. And Dominic is just infuriated. So Yusuf becomes infuriated. So Dominic tries to walk off, and Yusuf goes upside his head with a club. Like, knocks him upside the head. So Dominic is like, is he trying to kill me? Like, he braces himself and boom, like, bum rushes Yusuf. And they both are wrestling for the stick, but once Yusuf realizes there's a crowd around, he calms down a little bit, and he kind of tells Dominic, "Hey, can we keep this between us? Like, don't tell anybody that I tried to kill you. Like, I'm sorry. I just had a lapse of judgment moment or whatever the case may be." And I'm like, you should have went to the police then. But of course, Dominic does not. Dominic hops straight on a flight. He gets hauled ass out of there. And he's like, hey, he goes to Interpol when he gets back to London. He's like, I put his name on the Interpol list because what if he tries to do this to somebody else? You know what I mean? So he has his name put in the Interpol system. So remember when I told y'all that he went and got the book bag and picked up and took Callie to the real estate office and took her out to dinner and all those things because they wanted their money back and all that stuff? Well, this is where it gets juicy. So 4 weeks after the attack on Dominic, he's out to dinner with Callie, and Callie just remembers him drinking, and she's never seen him drink before. He's an athlete. He has 3 vodka and OJs, and then he decides, hey, there's a golden toilet. Like, do you want to see it? And Callie's like, honestly, I was drunk. I was just trying to have an adventure. He seemed to lighten up. I'm like, yeah, Yusuf, show me where the golden toilet is. So they go to, it's not even an old abandoned house. It's an old abandoned tire shop. And he's like, oh, I found the toilet. And she's like, great. Good for you. You found the toilet, like, now what? She's like, all right, Yusuf. She starts getting annoyed. She's like, this is getting annoying now. Like, he's back to being his lion ass self or whatever the case may be. And so Callie turns to walk away, and Yusuf goes, hey, Callie. And as she's turning around, he clocks her in the head with something. And she said he just jumped on her, started strangling her, and just screaming, words at her. And she just really didn't understand, like, what was going on. Like, it's crazy. So Yusuf basically strangles Callie unconscious. Like, he strangles Callie unconscious, and he just leaves her there for dead. He leaves her there for dead. So if y'all just coming in, this is a secret to tell. We do this. I gotta have another earring. We do this every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all get a true crime story from yours truly and some good food. I got onion rings. I found this flaming hot Cheeto mac and cheese that I doctored up a little bit. I got me a little New York strip steak with some onions. That mix was crazy. It's really good. So you're welcome. When you try that, think of me. Because I promise you, oops, I'm knocking stuff over. Oh my gosh, I know. I know. And it's not gonna be okay, and I know this. That's how they get you with this food. It's not. I'm prepared. I might go to the store and buy some. Alright, let's get back to the story. It's so good. So, obviously there's no seat. He leaves her for dead. I'm talking about just DUD. So Callie is unconscious, right? And all of a sudden, she regains consciousness. She has no idea if she's like where she is, and she can't move. And she's like, "Why can't I move? Like, why can't I move?" And she's like, because he wrapped her up in a tarp. He wrapped her up in a tarp so she couldn't move. He thought he had killed her. And then he put dirt over the top because as she what's the word? Shimmying or whatever, she can hear like the dirt coming off of the top or whatever the case may be. And Somehow, when he wrapped her up, the little flap that you like kind of tucks, he left it open, so she's able to kind of roll out of the What's this? I'm not taking the bite. She rolls out of the tarp and she's just covered in soot. Her eyes are burning, her ears are burning, like her body's on fire and her lungs are on fire because she's has sucked in so much motor oil and ash from the tire shop. So she's trying to like find her things and she realizes that Yusuf took her ID. So if someone was to find her, especially in Chile, and that kind of like no one would have known who she was or how she got there, or it would have took a little bit longer to identify her, you know? So that sucks a lot. And so meanwhile, the roommates are kind of back at the house like, have y'all seen Callie? Like, have y'all seen her? And Yusuf is at the house with his feet kicked up, legs kicked up. He's like, I gave her the book bag. She must have ran off with the money. That's so good. Getting cold. And they're like, that doesn't really sound like Callie to just up and run off with the money. And they're just kind of waiting and getting worried. And especially Molly, the best friend, is looking for her. So somehow Callie is able to manage to find her way home. She's touching on things. She's holding up on guardrails. She's holding up on fences, trees, because she can barely walk and she honestly can barely see from the soot in her face. So she makes it back to the house. She makes it back to the house. And the first person she sees is Yusuf. Yusuf comes bolting out the door. Can you just imagine the fear like that you probably had? Like the person that you last saw that left you for dead is the first person you see when you finally make it to your destination. Like that's the first person that you see. He runs out the door and goes, "Oh my gosh, Callie, are you okay? We were so worried about you. We thought something happened to you. Like, we were really worried. Like, it's tell us what happened." So she basically is like, "Get the fuck away from me. Why did you do this to me? How could you do this to me?" And she just runs to her best friend, Molly, of course, her comfort. And it's like, devastated because he just tried to kill her. So now the roommates are like, "Yusuf, what is she talking about?" He starts crying. "I don't understand why she thinks that I would do that to her. That wasn't me. I don't know why she's blaming me for this." Like, he basically tried to make everybody think that she was tripping or whatever the case may be. And basically, of course, she wasn't tripping. So they get her in the house and they get her in the shower because she's covered in soot. And while her best friend Molly is washing her hair, she notices like a big gash in Molly's in Callie's head. And Molly is like, "We need to get you to the hospital. Like, you have a huge gash on the top of your head." And then Callie's like, "I do." I'm sure she's dazed and not really sure like what's going on or whatever the case may be. And so she's just out of it. So they take her to a hospital in Santiago and she has she has abrasions on her cornea, lesions on like her eyes, other places of her eyes. She has a concussion. Her lungs are messed up. She's vomiting blood. She is just jacked up, to be honest. Like, poor baby. Like, that's just so devastating. She's jacked up. And so she ends up being able to finally kind of talk and make complete sentences, and she's able to tell her friend Molly, hey, Yusuf did this to me. So they go to the Santiago police and file a police report. So when the police finally come try to visit her, they're like, yeah, I mean, but did you die? Did you die? And Kelly's like, what do you mean? He tried to literally kill me. And they're like, yeah, but all you got is a little concussion and some stitches and little vomit of blood. Like, there's really no evidence that it was him, and it's a he say, she say. Like, there's really no proof. There's nothing we can do about it. They decide not to arrest Yusuf, which I think is complete bullshit. Why not? Like, why? It's just, I don't know. Be careful when you go to other countries. That's all I'm going to say. So they really don't do much help. So she ends up meeting this attorney who hears about the case, and the attorney is new, and she wants to kind of help out a little bit. And she just tells her, hey, like, let me help you get this going. So now she's all over the news, and guess who sees it? Maher and Dominic. And they're like, did you see on the news that he tried to kill this American lady in Chile? That he left her for dead? And they're like, yeah, like, that's a bit much. So they all kind of come together. The police end up deciding to be like, okay, yeah, we will do an investigation, and we're gonna, yeah, it's attempted murder. We can't hide that fact. Thank goodness the lawyer was on her side. And so they do the investigation, and they're finally able to catch him because he's conning someone else again. When they go to find him at the house to arrest him at from Cali, he goes, hey, he leaves them a note. He's like, hey y'all, my mom died, so I gotta go back to Denmark. But I'll be back to deal with the whole Cali thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be back. So they end up catching him in Chile. He never left Chile. He freaking lied about it. He was always there. He was still trying to find ways to scam money out of people. So they set up a sting, and they're able to catch him, or whatever the case may be. And he is arrested and tried in court. Now this, oh my gosh, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna take a bite because this boils my blood, what I'm about to say. This is so good. Hey y'all, welcome to Secret to Tell. We do this every Friday, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. ASMR, mukbang, true crime. I like this so much. I really do. I do. Just a little bit of this. That's so good. Man, water really helps water down. Alright. So now he gets tried for murder. And guess how much time he gets? He gets 600 days for attempted murder. So apparently, in Chile, if you try to kill somebody, you don't do more than 2 years for attempted murder. It's really rare in Chile for you to get more than 2 years for attempted murder. And Callie says when he leaves the courtroom, he turns around and winks at her, and she's like, this mother. So he ends up doing his time. And then the people in Denmark that he frauded over there, he has to go and do 3 months over there as well. Oh, 600 days is, don't even get me started. And that's the end. Oh, Lord, it's Harbor. That's the end of that story. After he does that, nope, sorry, y'all. After he's found guilty and he serves his 3 months, he goes to Costa Rica. uh, he goes to Costa Rica and does the same thing again. So currently he's in. Oh yeah, he only did 3 months for the fraud and arson in Denmark. So he's currently still scamming people in Costa Rica. He goes by Joseph Carter, Joseph Maria, and Joseph Carter. Um, he has different aliases. He's still on the run from the people he scammed in Costa Rica. I wonder if he's still running marathons though. Right. Callie actually is currently back in Texas. She actually works in the healthcare industry now. She does say she suffers from PTSD, and she does not like people with thick eyebrows because of Yusef. If you guys go see a picture of him, he has a very thick eyebrows. So because of what he did, she has a fear of people with thick eyebrows. So, but she's doing better. She's seeing a therapist. She's taking it day by day, and everything's going great for her. So y'all know I got some questions. Oh, thanks for listening to my story. And now it's time to do some questions. Do you think that thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh wait, can y'all hear it? I know it's a song, but I can't hear it with my microphone in. Hey, thank you. Do you think that Callie was naive to Yusef? Like, does anybody feel like maybe she should have paid a little bit more attention to him? Because he cut the oven off. Cut it back on 350. Chicken still in there. Yeah, I really feel like she was a little bit. I feel like why would you give him your money? I don't understand that. Mm, I agree. I agree. Thank you. And my next question is: do you guys think that Yusef will ever have to do real time? Like, do you think he will ever, ever, ever have to do real time? Because 600 days for attempted murder is crazy. Try that over here. Try that over here. Yeah. And this question, I was really curious to know what people would think. So she moved to Chile because she said that Chile was safe and a low murder rate. Based on her situation, is Chile safe because they don't report it, or is Chile really safe? Because that man tried to kill you and they told you they couldn't do anything about it. So where are these statistics coming from? Like I guess I'm just a little. I guess I just want to understand it. I just want to understand it. Like, how safe is Chile really? If someone tries to murder you and you only get 600 days, like you can only get up to 600 days. I just think that's crazy as all outdoors. That's just me. And then my question is this too. Why did Dom leave his $50,000 with Yusef? I am not leaving right. I'm not leaving $50,000 with you. I'm taking it back with me, and when you get your lawyer to call me, then we can talk. Cause I'm not just gonna be. I'm not doing that. I'm not. You just met this man a year ago, and you haven't seen him do anything worthy of your trust. And honestly, y'all, if you watch the documentary, Dominic does not even disclose how much money he left with Yusef. He's too embarrassed to say it, but that's what court records are for, baby. That's how I found it. Mm-hmm. On the show, he's like, I don't think I need to tell you that. Mm, okay. Secret, I'll find it. Secret knows all the secrets. All right. I already know how y'all feel about this. Yes. Was 600 days enough time? Do y'all think that's enough time for attempted murder? So that's true. Every time I tell a story, people are, oh, this happened for real. Yeah, y'all. It's really crazy folks out there. Hello. No. You tried to kill her. You tried to kill her. All right. Has anyone ever tried to kill you? Has anyone ever tried to kill you? Have y'all ever been in a situation where you like, dang, I'm out of here? Yeah. Well, I'm a free man, so no. Oh yeah, I had my own personal experience. OG has. Mm-mm. There's no real no person. Mm. This steak is good and tender. There's no real no person. All right, my last question for the show is: would you move where you didn't speak the language? I'm just confused as to why she moved to Santiago, Chile, and she didn't speak Spanish. Hmm? Have you no shame, Kelly? It really is. Uh, They may be trying to tell me, yeah, you don't even know. And then he's not even Palestinian. He's from Denmark. Yeah, I agree with that too. I definitely agree with that too. Well, thank y'all so much for coming. That's actually the end of my show. I do this every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ASMR, mukbang, true crime story. Make sure you hit my name and follow all my social media links. And don't forget about me, baby. Move that fade. Thank you all for coming. I hope y'all enjoyed the story. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, follow me on YouTube. Oh, yeah, subscribe. How did I forget to tell y'all to subscribe to the YouTube? What? Thank you. It is. It's Easter ring. Oh my, what you talking about? It's Easter ring for me. It's Easter ring. Let me go start writing the show. There you go. That's my little king.